If you have an Oculus Rift, I'm sure you've played Space Quidditch, also known as Echo VR. I mean, of course you have. It's a free online game that Oculus wouldn't stop shoving down our throats when it first came out. But, did you know it has a story mode? My name is Trickey Dickey, and welcome to Virtual Reviews. Okay, fine. You probably didn't know that Echo VR had a story game released alongside of it called Lone Echo. But I'm gonna review it anyway, because to this day, Lone Echo is the only VR game that I've played that has a story worth talking about. Most VR games right now have an easy to follow, action-packed story that's basically just like, look at this excuse to try out all these cool VR mechanics we made up. You don't need to justify your actions in this game, do you? Lone Echo, on the other hand, actually made me want to play through the game. It gave me a reason to keep coming back. I am a huge sucker for story games, and games with a powerful story usually make me cry like a little baby. To the Moon, The Last of Us, Undertale, hell, even the end of Halo 4 made me bawl my eyes out. Virtual reality games are still kinda catching up in this regard, but Lone Echo gave me hope. It's not exactly a new release, but it's far from forgotten, so let's break it down. This game is set on a space mining operation just off Saturn in space. You wake up as Amazon Alexa's older brother Jack, and you find yourself second in command to War Machine's white British daughter, Captain Rhodes. And that's it. This story is so damn good it only needs two characters to make it compelling, and one of them is a robot controlled by the player. There's a ton of details to develop Olivia as a character right off the bat, but it's optional, so you can skip that crap and get the action going right away if you want to. It's great for all types of players. Then some strange stuff starts happening, forcing you and Mary Poppins over here to get to work fixing stuff that's going wrong all over the place. Lone Echo is really good at easing the player into the action. It starts out simple and calm, making you appreciate the world building and letting you listen to the characters interact. The story then starts ramping up as you discover more things around the mining operation that are malfunctioning. Even when the characters split up, which is inevitable in any partner story, you're constantly communicating over the radio so you can listen to Liv's sultry British voice the entire game.
Morning, sunshine. And how are we feeling today?
Before you complain about how sarcastic and vague I'm being, I'm doing this on purpose. Let me start out by saying I really love this game's story. I just don't want to spoil any aspect of the story for you guys. The big main plot points are great, don't get me wrong, but discovering all the small little world building details makes it even better. It really helped me connect with the characters and made the story more impactful overall. If any of you have not played this game yet, I'm trying to do you a favor by letting you experience it firsthand. The story was well written, it was original, it's paced well, and oh boy was that ending wild and satisfying. Okay, I'm done fanboying over the story. It's time to geek out about the gameplay. This is an Oculus exclusive, published by Oculus Studios. It was developed by Ready at Dawn, and holy cow, they knocked it out of the park with this one. First of all, if you've seen my past reviews, you know I love my touch controllers. Oculus just does such a good job at simulating hands in their games and experiences. Grabbing and interacting with objects feels just like the dashboard and any other Oculus Studios app pretty much. If nothing else, at least they're consistent. This is an important thing to point out when it comes to this game in particular, because grabbing with your hands isn't just how you interact with objects in the world, it's also a core part of moving around. In case you've forgotten the past few minutes, this game takes place in space. So you spend the entire game floating around in zero gravity and it feels out of this world. No pun intended. That means you have to grab onto things around you and push off to move around. This would feel so unnatural if they didn't map this action to the grip button. The touch controllers are also great at sensing when you're pointing your finger, so you interact with small buttons and holographic ARM computers using your index fingers. This is becoming pretty universal in newer games on the Rift, but they integrated this so smoothly into Lone Echo so long ago. You also use your index finger to tap on the inside or outside of your wrists to deploy certain tools that are built right into your robot hands. You can even tap the size of your virtual helmet to deploy your visor or turn on your flashlight. This is one of the first major VR titles I had ever played, and Lone Echo just blew my mind with its controls and overall gameplay experience. It was pretty much everything I wanted out of a serious big studio VR game. Plus, who doesn't want to float around in a virtual reality outer space? Let me start by saying, this game looks absolutely amazing. The realistic style, the attention to detail, the animation, all phenomenal. Lone Echo is truly one of the most realistic looking VR games that I've ever played. There's only one human character, but her animation seems so natural and realistic. And the amount of detail in the androids' bodies, especially the main characters, was mind-blowing. Not a lot of games try animating a full body for a free motion VR game, but Lone Echo did, and it looks really good. It feels so much better to see arms moving with your hands and a body moving around when you look down. Even though it's an android body you're looking at, it's crazy immersive. I hate feeling like a severed head with its hands cut off in VR games, so when a studio can animate a full body, they're already starting to win me over. On top of all this, I still don't understand how they pulled off making such a large area in space. The entire mining operation is huge, and if you see something off in the distance, you can just fly over to it. It takes a while, but you can do it. I initially thought it was a trick that only worked when you used the transporters, like they loaded in or something, but no. You don't have to use the transporters. You can see something really far away and just start flying over to it. It'll take you forever, but you'll get there eventually, and it's a fully designed animated area. I don't know enough about animating or game design to understand how they did that, but it's just it's mind-boggling. You know how like when they get your thoughts all trapped up in a bottle? That was dumb. Sorry. All that being said, I'm not without things to complain about here. I don't fault the game design for this necessarily, but it's definitely not a walk in the park to run this game. Like I said, Lone Echo is immensely detailed. Tons of objects just floating all around you, realistic lighting, shadows, even fog and particle effects. Way nicer stuff than you usually find in a VR game. So just imagine how nice of a PC you'd need to have to run this game at max settings. I'm usually pretty safe when I run games around the middle of the road, and that's what I did in this case. And even when I did that, I would experience a few dropped frames and some serious stuttering moments. To be fair, it was only during really graphically intense scenes, but it still happened. I can't just ignore it. You might want to turn your settings down a little bit. Having stutters and frame rate issues is going to take away from the awesome experience that this game should be.
Worked that one out on your own, did you?
I fail to see how sarcasm is going to help.
Sorry, can't help it. Part of my wily British charm.
Lone Echo is a shining gem of an example of what we need more of in VR. The demand for story-driven single-player games is stronger than ever, and I'm sure all of us want games like this in virtual reality. I know high-end VR is relatively new to the gaming industry, but hopefully developers can look to Lone Echo for an example of the storytelling potential that is virtual reality. Porting games to VR, like they did with Skyrim, Doom, and Fallout 4, is a good start. But I think another story-driven, VR-specific game could be wildly successful. I mean, Lone Echo got fantastic reviews and got the 2017 Best VR Game Award. I have my fingers crossed that the industry will start making more games like Lone Echo.
Damn. Shit. Ass.
Thank you so much for watching my video on Lone Echo. I know I'm pretty late to the punch on this one, but this game has a special place in my heart while I wait for another story VR game like this. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that bell icon so you know when I post another video. I'm gonna review that new Marvel game next, so turning on my notifications will make sure you don't miss that one. I've heard pretty mixed reviews, so I'm ready to take a first-hand look at it. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.